Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
All right, here we go. TradioV, Inside Metal Show, little classic Riot, Fire Down Under, the title track to their amazing, 1980 album. And we got something a little bit special. I'm sorry for the guys that are streaming live. Well, you won't be seeing this anyway because something's up with the live stream. But we will get this up just as soon as possible if you are just catching it now. We got a very, very special guest Skyped in from Toronto, Canada. Let's see if we could get him on here. Is he there? Mr. Sam Dunn, director extraordinaire. What is up, Sam?
Not much, Bob. How are you? Good to see you, man. It's been a long time.
Very cool. I like the echo. Or do you have the reverb set on heavy?
I don't know, but as long as you can hear me.
It sounds great. Okay. It sounds very metal. So as everybody knows, every metalhead or inside metal fan should know, Sam Dunn is the director and co-creator, along with Scott McFadden of the Inside. I'm saying Inside Metal, the Metal Evolution series, as well as the Rock Icons, which is currently on the VH1 channel. And you've got something new we're going to talk about, the Metal Evolution album series. And let's not forget the great movies you did: the Iron Maiden Flight 666, The Rush, Behind the Lighted Stage, and the Super Duper Alice Cooper, amongst many others. Headbanger's Journey, Global Metal. We could go on and on, man. This is the metal guru right here.
No pressure, no pressure.
So, Sam, let's get right into it. You got something new going on, and it's a YouTube series, correct? Now, is it just exclusively for YouTube, or?
Well, Banger TV basically is going to be eventually an all-metal OTT service like Netflix. We're calling it the Netflix of metal, but it's going to take a while to get to that point where we can actually launch it as that service. So right now, we're calling it the preview phase, and basically what Banger TV is right now is it's a YouTube channel where we're creating some new shows, getting some stuff out of our vault, and just giving everyone a taste of what we hope the Banger TV channel will actually look like.
All right. And, of course, Banger TV is the production company that did all these fine documentaries. And now I know we've had Martin Popoff on the show, and I've as you know, interviewed him several times. And he told me the amount of research that goes in, and that I know you've got hours upon hours upon hours of footage that you've shot over the years, from your movies. I know the Metal Evolution alone, you must have had at least 300 to 500 hours of footage for those series. So you've got tons of stuff to work with. Now, is this this is something a lot of people ask. Now, the company is Banger TV. You're not exclusive with VH1, is that correct?
That's correct. I mean, we own all of our film and TV titles, and so effectively we license them to VH1 or we license them to other networks around the world. So the copyright of these titles rests with us, and that VH1 licenses the shows or the films to air for a certain length of time. So it's, that's the boring business answer to your question.
Right. Well, the question is, for this new stuff, is it going to be exclusive to the Banger TV channel, or will, say, a VH1 Classic be carrying some of these new Metal Evolution album series?
No, the idea is that Banger TV, everything on Banger TV will be exclusive to Banger TV. Effectively, it's like we're starting our own network, our own channel,
right,
for metal. So we're no longer just the production company, but we're also handling the distribution. as well. I mean, it's kind of like a band, starting their own label and doing everything themselves. And the reason why is because, we're seeing a lot of changes in the way TV and film gets distributed right now. I'm sure you've heard and the viewers have heard about, the changes happening at VH1 and VH1 Classic. And really what we're seeing is fewer and fewer places for metal fans to watch metal documentaries, to watch concerts, to see cool old archival stuff. And we just think that the time is right to bring it under one roof.
Absolutely.
And to actually provide metal fans with a full-fledged channel.
Well, everything is going digital with like you said, the Netflix and all the others, the Hulu, whatever, you could get just through, whatever, your Apple TV, Roku, whatever. There's really no need for cable, especially if you've got channels like Banger TV available. People don't have to, buy cable. I mean, the problem with a lot of things is a lot of people will get cable just to get the one channel, say a VH1 Classic, because they want to see your documentaries or that metal show, and they end up paying $80 a month just to get one channel that they're, watching. And
that's exactly right. You're exactly right. And what we're seeing more and more is subscription-based OTT channels that cater towards a specific audience. So if you're a fan of cooking, or you're a fan of the outdoors, or you're a fan of metal, why pay those big cable bills when really what you'd rather see is just what you like? And so that's essentially what we're trying to do for the international metal community.
I agree 100%, man. I think it's an awesome thing. Just so, what is going on with VH1 Classic? Because I believe that metal show is over, right? That was their last season. And are you going to be, you say that you license it for a certain amount of time, your documentaries, or like the Metal Evolution, or is VH1 Classic going to do without the metal? Because I heard that their metal shows were their highest rated shows. Is that not correct?
Yeah, I mean, our relationship with VH1 Classic has been great. And, we've been working with them since pretty much the very beginning. I mean, our first film, Metal Headbanger's Journey, they picked up in the States. So, they've been great to us, and we're still close with those guys. But the thing is that Viacom as a whole is going through some pretty dramatic changes, and I don't know for sure what's going to happen with VH1 Classic, the channel, yet. But I do know that they might not be carrying any more original content. There's talk of like shows getting shuffled around, and I'm not really in the position to say because I'm not VH1 Classic. We're Banger Films.
Absolutely.
So I think it's just. But what we do recognize is that so if VH1 Classic isn't going to carry some of that content, well, where are fans of hard rock and metal going to go?
Absolutely.
So
man.
we're trying to because we're fans and we believe that there's a space and opportunity for good documentaries, great concerts, and other show concepts for metal fans, and we just want to keep doing what we're doing.
Absolutely, and I couldn't agree more. I think it's a great idea, and I'm a huge fan of your documentaries, and I'm really anxious to see all your new documentaries. Now, is this? I know we're going to show a little bit a trailer for At the Gates. I guess that's going to be the debut of the. Now, is it called Metal Evolution Albums or what?
Yeah. So one of the things we're going to be doing on Banger TV is extending our Metal Evolution series to now we're focusing on specific records.
Right.
And really what we want to do is focus not so much on the records that you could see already on classic albums like Number the Beast or the Black Album or say British Steel.
Those are great
sort of,
series too.
These are the classics. We're kind of digging one layer deeper and really looking at the metal albums that have, I guess, more influenced the metal community or the metal underground, because we just feel that those records need to be honored and need to be celebrated because fans of this music and musicians within the metal community know that these records might be just as important as, say, like, an early Led Zeppelin record when it comes to, the actual evolution of metal. So yeah, Metal Evolution albums is the next step in the series.
And I know you're obviously a big fan of the more underground metal scene, particularly the thrash, death metal, and black metal scene. I know you're really into that side of metal. And I remember talking to you about, the series, and you were pretty restricted with the Metal Evolution. I know you wanted to do you did the thrash metal one, which was great. And what made that one so special in particular?
Was it you were in it?
Absolutely. You got that right. Good answer, Sam. And in fact,
one of the best quotes in the episode, just playing Enter Sandman on the dance floor. What happened? That's a great quote.
That was my 5 seconds of fame. Andy Warhol got his 15 minutes.
I'm sorry we couldn't get more of you in there, but we only had 45 minutes for a whole genre. So
actually, I don't even think I got quite 5 seconds, maybe 2.5 seconds. But from my understanding, that quote alone brought the female audience tenfold to the thrash metal episode. Is that true?
I don't know about that, but I do know that yeah, I mean, there were a lot of fans of that thrash episode.
Well, it's true. All the females tuned in to check my infamous 5 seconds out.
I think that was just maybe you had more female fans.
Well, the point what you just said, you actually had a 45 minutes. It's an hour show, and with commercials, you probably have like about 37 minutes to run a thrash metal documentary. And we're going to show our, you're well aware, the Inside Metal. We got a thrash Rise of LA thrash metal documentary, and that's going to be a 2-part. It's actually going to be a 3-hour film just on LA metal bands. And we still didn't have enough, to cover. So you're doing a worldwide thrash metal episode for 37 minutes, and I know you must have had hours and hours of footage that couldn't make it in, and it's very difficult. And like I said, you wanted to do a underground one on death and thrash metal, and that didn't really fit VH1's standard. So it's again, it's great that you've got this avenue with Banger Films, where internet, you could do anything. It's uncensored. It's not just a matter of you could say fuck or shit or cunt or whatever. It's the fact that you could basically, you have your own rules. There's no censorship. You could do it as long as you want.
Yeah, and it's not just what we can cover. It's also that it's instantly international.
Absolutely.
And I think that traditionally the film and TV world is split up into countries, and your show will air on a different channel in every country, and sometimes our stuff won't make it to a lot of places where there's big metal scenes. We were just down in Chile actually earlier this year. We got invited down to a film festival there, and they did like a whole retrospective of our films in this town in Chile, and we hung out with a lot of the metal fans in this town called Valdivia, and it just made us realize that with something like Banger TV, we can instantly reach people around the world. And so now, whether you're in Chile or you're in Japan, or we were in South Africa early this year, and we're going to be doing a travel documentary about the metal scene in South Africa. And it allows us to reach all those people instantly.
Absolutely. Another fantastic movie, which I believe I touched on, was Global Metal. Which basically explains that you were all over the world, South Africa, Chile, Japan, and all these bands that are huge in those areas that no one in the States might have heard of. And it's great because it's not just not just for the metal fan, but it really shows the culture. How hard rock and heavy metal music is such a huge worldwide culture, and so much bigger than here in the States. I mean, everyone knows about Europe, but when you talk about Japan and South America, and even places you would never know, you're in the Middle East where there's bands that, are huge out there that are, basically banned. They have to play, underground. So it's really a cultural movie, I think. And I think it's great that you're able to do that. In fact, let's go to, before we go into a break, let's play one of the trailers for the Banger Films. Go ahead and set that up there. And then we're going to take some calls after, if you don't mind, Sam.
Yeah, no problem.
Cool.
That was passed around by kids. No one ever thought that would have the influence that it's proven to have.
It wasn't a huge record, but everybody knew about it.
And I did like way over 80 takes. All the skin in my right hand and just started coming off.
And we wanted to impress everybody, you know, the world.
All right, available Christmas Day, huh? That's the
right.
At the Gates. That'll be your debut episode. Now, this is going to be available on YouTube right now, correct?
Well, the plan is it's going to be released actually on Christmas Day, and it's going to be available, I believe, for the price of $4.99. So it's the first instance in Banger TV where we're basically asking people to pay rather than it just be something available for free.
Now, is it
because this is a full 30-minute documentary where we went to Gothenburg and we actually had the whole band in the room together, the original members that played on Slaughter of the Soul, which was released in '95, it's 20 years ago now. And there's some great concert footage in there and lots of archival stuff from the band's history and other people talking about the record. So this is big for us because it's the first time we're going to be launching something on Banger TV where people are going to have to pay a little bit to see it. So in many ways, it's like a test, if you will, because eventually when we launch the channel, it's going to be like Netflix where you pay like $4.99 a month. And then you get access to all of this great metal material. So yeah, that's the plan. Christmas Day.
All right. Now, how's that going to work? Now, that is on your the Banger Films YouTube channel, correct?
Correct. So that's how.
But it's not free. It's a
can
subscription.
Access the documentary. That's right.
Now, I mean, a question I have, because there's not many subscription stuff on YouTube. Most, I would say at least 90 to 99% of it is free on YouTube.
Yeah.
What is going to attract people to pay for it? And are you worried about once people get it, can't they access it anywhere and give it out to people for free on you? I mean, I guess like CDs or anything, but I'm saying, can't they just repost it on YouTube for free, or what's going to stop?
So yeah, just to be clear, because it's confusing because things are changing in TV right now, right? Like the line between television and the internet is all getting blurred, right? So right now, Banger TV is a YouTube channel. Once we turn it into a subscription-based channel, it's something you're going to be able to access on your PlayStation, your Apple TV, Roku. It's going to be available on a number of different platforms for a subscription fee. I don't think, to answer your question about are we worried about pirating, I mean, everyone's worried about pirating.
Sure.
Who isn't?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think that the goal with Banger TV is to create something that is quality. And what we've done some research, and the research indicates that metal fans appreciate and respect quality. Sure. That this is not something you're going to be able to get if you just go to YouTube. Right. We're going to be finding things that has never been seen before or haven't been seen in a long time. Essentially, we're going to be curating a lot of old material and new material and presenting it to the metal audience. So, I mean, of course, we're always concerned about piracy, but I think that metal fans are ready for their own channel.
Absolutely. I think we're going to a break. Is that what you're trying to tell me there, Jake? Okay, we're going to do a quick break. We're going to be back with film director Sam Dunn right here at Inside Metal on TradioV.
Beyond Slayer, Metallica, and Dark Angel.
That is so thrash. That is so over the top. The most extreme music I'd ever heard.
We were all hanging out together. We were all united around the belief in this music, and it brought us together.
San Francisco gets talked about all the time, but LA had a fierce metal scene.
But man, we had to fight the good fight against most of what LA stood for.
LA did not get the credit. It was stolen from San Francisco. They took all the credit. All these bands started emerging who were following in the footsteps of the new wave of British heavy metal.
And it was just blood. It was just brutal blood, man. Just fights and just, there was no control. Right. There was no control.
The danger was part of the excitement.
Kidnap a poser, set him on fire, tie him to a chair, beat him up. I watched them do stuff like that.
And I've got the biggest band in San Francisco opening for you. We're like, Y&T? He's like, no, Metallica. I'm like, who?
Good grief. You know, Metallica's much bigger than Diamond and everywhere.
So we got a copy of No Life to Love, put it on, it was like...
Metallica was the first time I heard the punk element plus the new wave of British heavy metal put together. I'm like, this is it. I loved it.
Said, well, we're going to headline LA. That's our hometown, but we're going to headline, and Metallica will go on before us. Well, that was a big mistake, because then they came on and just destroyed us.
We went on right before Metallica, and there's still like that thread. There's no way we're going to blow away Metallica or anything, but I mean, we're going to fucking try.
When we opened for Queensrÿche, people really had no idea who we were. And this is a big arena, and I remember looking at an audience and people having this look of terror.
And the whole place was, the ceiling was sweating.
They have that rock star shit. They have fucking roadies, you know.
You got all the metal guys on one side of the parking lot, and you got all the punkers on the other side, and the animosity's already started.
It was just crazy. It was youth. You know, it was youth.
All right, Inside Metal Show, TradioV, with my guest, Mr. Sam Dunn, film director extraordinaire. And we just watched the trailer for the upcoming Inside Metal movie, Rise of LA Thrash Metal, which will be out hopefully summer, probably summer of 2016, because we got our other movie, LA Metal Scene Explodes, which is done and pretty much ready to be released the beginning of the new year. So I don't know if you had a chance to see the thrash metal trailer there, Sam.
I have, yeah. And I'm a dyed-in-the-wool thrash metal fan, so it speaks my language.
Yeah, I think you'll dig it. We're actually working on, I guess I could tell people now, I'm working on a inside San Francisco thrash metal, and I got some well-known San Francisco metalheads, Ron Quintana and the great Mark DeVito, who will be working with me on that. So, got to keep it authentic, got to get the Bay Area bangers there. So that's kind of in the works right now. So got a lot of good stuff. So maybe we could get our stuff on your channel there once you get it going. I think you should.
What I like is you did the LA one to piss off all the Bay Area guys. Now you're going to do Bay Area to get LA.
Dude, that's exactly it. People are already getting pissed off when they see the trailer. What's this? Because
it's a good strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we want to cover it all, but I think it's important, like you say. We've got obviously the opportunity, and Warren's great. Warren Croyle, who's the executive producer, because I tried fitting it. This first one, the Pioneers of LA Hard Rock and Metal, I tried to fit it into an 80-minute movie of which he wanted, and I said, dude, there's just too much shit. I can't put it all to make the story make sense. It's just not working out as an 80-minute edit. He's like, fuck it, just make it 2 volumes. I'm like, all right, cool. So we didn't have those restrictions, so we're making all of these 2 volumes, or at least as much as we can. So we could separate it from city to city and really concentrate on that scene in that particular area and how that scene was influential to the music and how the music was influential to the city. So it's a cool thing. But going back to your channel now, of course, Banger TV, which everybody's looking forward to. I know the buzz is huge about it. And still a lot of questions about it, and even I have questions. Once you actually do get it going, is this going to be a 24/7 channel, say like a VH1 Classic, 24/7, where you could actually have it, as a subscription, and then just have advertisers or sponsors, and people could just pay for the channel itself and watch it exclusively? Or what are your plans?
Yeah, I mean, the best comparison, as I've mentioned, is really Netflix.
Right.
Right. So the idea is that, on your Apple TV or on your Roku, on your PlayStation, there's an image and it says Banger TV. You click on it, you open it, go in, and for a monthly subscription, there'll be a rotating list of things you can watch on the channel.
On demand.
Okay. So it'll be like, there'll be a Metal Evolution Albums episode that we've done. There'll be and then there's going to be a number of old metal videos and concerts that we've licensed. There'll be other things that we've produced. We're planning some like live concert series that we're going to shoot. We're even in conversations with a local recording studio here in Toronto, where when bands come through, they actually play in a studio and we film it in combination with an interview. The BBC has been doing this for a number of years, and I've always loved the way they do it.
I love those things. Yeah,
the quality. Faith No More did one recently. I'm a huge fan of those guys, and I just think it's like, I just thought, I looked at that and I'm like, someone should do this for metal.
Absolutely.
So, and then we have other, stuff we're doing right now on the YouTube channel. Is we have a series called Lock Horns, which has been pretty popular, where we analyze and scrutinize our heavy metal family tree, which we created for a Headbanger's Journey, and we pick a certain subgenre of metal, and it's a live stream, it's a live show where me and a guest take the critiques from the audience and talk about what's good and what's bad about the way we classified this subgenre, and people are commenting as we're doing it, and it's been getting a lot of great response. So that's sort of a sample of the stuff you'll be able to get on Banger TV.
Well, dude, I love it. I love those one-on-one interviews, and I love the way you do the one-on-one, and how you show that in your movies, whether it be the Metal Evolution series or the Headbanger's Journey, where you're at, one-on-one with Ronnie James Dio at his house. And I think that would be great. There's so many, going back to what you're saying, I know like Access TV, Palladia, you have a lot of shows. And of course, in England, the BBC has a lot of great shows like that. But even in America, I mean, Dan Rather does. Well, obviously, it's not all metal, but he's had, a certain people on there. He actually does really good interviews. But to do something like that, all metal, I just saw something on the internet on YouTube, a Canadian channel, and I guess he's a rapper, a black guy, really good. He interviewed Bruce Dickinson. Did you see that? It was a fantastic interview. I have no idea who this guy is. He's a Canadian rapper, but he knew a lot about, and he does all different. He has like Adele and all different styles of music, but he really, I just give him a plug.
I actually know Shad. He's based here in Toronto. He does Canada's most popular radio show called Q, and he's a hip hop artist. And in fact, it's funny you mentioned him, because we're doing a lot of different stuff at Banger, not just metal stuff, and we're actually producing a double feature documentary on the history of hip hop. And Shad is the host of that film.
Ah, okay.
So we're actually working with Shad right now.
Now you were telling me about that a while ago. It was kind of like a hip hop evolution that was going to be that'll be for VH1. Is that correct?
Well, we don't know yet. We don't know who's going to pick it up in the US. The films aren't done yet. Originally, it was going to be a series, but then we scaled it back to be sort of a part 1 and a part 2 documentary. But really, it is kind of like the Headbanger's Journey, but for hip hop,
right? Where
Shad goes on this journey to kind of really understand, hip hop's become so massive, it's everywhere, and he's trying to figure out, well, how did it become so huge? And now you don't really get it. You don't have a sense of what really hip hop is anymore, because it's sort of everywhere. Like, what is its identity? And so he goes on this journey to answer those questions. So yeah, we're working with him on that right now.
That's interesting, coming from a Canadian, you know, for hip hop. But he's really good. I think you should definitely do kind of a talk show like that for your metal. See, look, I'm already pitching shows to you.
That's good. I mean, we do. We moved to a new office actually, and we actually created the Banger Bar in our office.
You and Pop-Up.
That's where we film a lot of our stuff.
Right.
And yeah, we've been talking about doing more just live one-on-one interviews as well.
Well, I love. I know in Canada, you actually have your own TV channels on Canada, right? That have your or not TV channels, but they show your movies on. It's not a VH1 out there, is it? It's something different that you've got.
No, our shows, all our movies and TV series in Canada air on HBO Canada.
Oh wow. That's
so it's
cool.
the carrier for HBO in Canada is the one who shows all our stuff. So we get actually, I mean, Canada's 1/10 the population of the US, right? It's 35 million of us, 350 million of you guys. So it's a smaller audience, but proportionally we're bigger in Canada. More people know us in Canada per capita. So we do really well up here.
Well, I love the Canadian shows. I got to say, one of my favorite all-time movies is Fubar. Fubar 1 and 2. And, you know, I remember, I think this might have even been before Metal Evolution, I saw your name on the credit on the first Fubar. You did the music for the first Fubar, because I'm going, this is great music. It starts out with Girls School doing, what was it? Not Hit and Run, but Let's Go. Come on, let's go. And then I see the credits, Sam Dunn.
Well, it was actually Scott McFadgen, you know, my business and creative partner at Banger. He was a music supervisor before we started Banger Films. So he was music supervising films and TV shows, and so he kind of involved me on that one because obviously it had a metal and rock angle, and we worked together on putting the music on that film. Yeah, sure. It's kind of an underground cult classic.
And you know, the second one is even better, I think. I mean, rarely do you have a sequel that is. Go ahead.
You're one of the few, I think, that thinks the second one's better.
I mean, I love the second one's more of a movie. The first one is like when I first started watching, I thought it was a documentary. It was so well done, and I'm going, wait, this can't be real, you know. But I mean, it totally had you fooled. But the second was like a movie. I just love the Tron character in the second one. How I mean, it just fits so well. I mean, usually second movies just don't work, you know. But this is one that I think worked really well. But I love the Canadian movies because there's always blatant metal stuff in it. Whether or TV shows like even Trailer Park Boys, you know, they always bring it up. You know, Canadian bands you would never hear of in America, like Helix or April Wine or Kim Mitchell, you know, and stuff. And I just laugh at that. Or what's that other one? Todd and the they always
Todd
have
the Book of Evil.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much cool shows that really promote underground metal. You would never get that in the States from a TV show or a movie. So very cool stuff. But I'm really looking forward to it. Do we need to go into a break, or can we play another trailer of Sam's? Yeah, let's do one of the other trailers for the I believe this is just all about the Banger Films trailer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some people wake up, they read the paper, they drink coffee. I listen to Slayer, I listen to Testament. I mean, it's in your blood. It's the air that you breathe.
It's sort of a way to feel as though you are part of something that's larger than yourself, because everything about metal is larger than it is in life.
Heavy metal is the greatest noise that ever was created.
What do you want people to know about metal in South Africa?
I want the world to know that we're here, we exist, and we're ready to fuck shit up.
One of the biggest driving forces is still fun to create and write music.
We are very fortunate to be where we are, and so that's an inspiration as well.
I feel like I'm finally talking to somebody who actually knows what I'm talking about.
There you go. Just a taste of Sam Dunn's movies, and got to give Scott credit too as a co-director, of course. Great stuff, man. If you're not familiar with his movies, you could. In the meantime, you could get them on obviously Amazon. I believe they're on iTunes. Everything else, you could watch them, rent them, watch them on demand. Netflix, you could get them. So definitely some great titles. And you're going to be able to put all these out on your channel as well, right? All your past movies,
That's
your
right.
archive stuff. Very
Yeah,
cool.
we'll be putting our own stuff as well as, you know, other metal movies that have been created, you know, really since the dawn of metal. We're going to try and find a lot of cool stuff that maybe's been forgotten or not seen in a long time to just really kind of create a channel that feels like it's the home of metal.
I love it, dude.
So yeah, I think there's a lot of gems out there that people don't really know about.
And the great thing is you could really cater it, not just being on the internet, but just having your own show, Banger Films. You could cater it to your needs and your audience's needs. You don't have to cater it to, you know, corporate America, like say a VH1 or whatever. And even on your series, in which I always applaud you about, I love the fact that you are still, okay, cool. Is that for the whole show? You know, I said so we only got 3 minutes left. I said we were going to take calls, and I just realized we're not doing a live show, so we can't take calls. The internet is down for the live feed, but we'll be up and we'll be reposting this. But I like the fact, I love the fact that, you know, even on like you did on the Metal Evolution, a one on glam rock and glam metal, and you even say on that, you know, I am not a fan. I despise this music, but I want to understand what makes it popular. And that was one of the best episodes because you really, you know, you didn't have it, you know, you weren't kissing ass or like, you know, but, and then toward the end you said, you know, you kind of respect their views on how they look at it. But not just the glam episode, all your episodes, you come from that kind of a, you know, that outlook on how you
well, it's always, you know, we always try to do the challenge, the balance we've always tried to strike in all of our stuff is provide something for fans that has integrity. Absolutely. And, you know, there's some smarts behind it, but at the same time presented in a way that can be intriguing for the non-metal fan as well. So it's always been trying to strike that balance. And so, you know, it's nice. I get to insert my opinion.
I love that.
But only when it really, we only do it when it's really able to kind of help drive the story, you know? And when I say I'm not a fan of glam metal, I think part of the reason why I can do that is because there's a certain segment of the metal community that agrees with me, right? So you're starting somewhere. It isn't just about me. I'm saying it, but I think it's the fact that there's actually some currency in what I'm saying that gives it some traction, you know?
Absolutely. Well, it's a very honest approach. And my point to what you're saying, even though you're not a fan of glam metal, you didn't go, it doesn't come off like you said, glam metal sucks, or this is, you know, and you're like kind of making the show, you know, kind of making it satirical, or you don't have it at that angle at all. Right. So I love that fact that you
we do it in the polite, earnest Canadian way.
Very, very cool. Well, dude, I'm excited. I know a lot of the Inside Metal fans are very excited. We only got a couple minutes left. I wanted to see if we could maybe play that a little segment from a Bruce Dickinson interview you had. It's a little bit too late, but we're heading out in a bit. So why don't you tell in the last couple minutes anything we didn't touch on, how people could get it, obviously on YouTube, anything else, any social media you want to give out?
Sure. Well, I think the main thing I want to say is that we want people to visit our Banger TV YouTube channel, and not only visit and check out the stuff that we've got there, but hit that subscribe button, because it may seem like a small thing, but actually our subscription numbers are really important for us to be able to take that next step to creating the full OTT channel, because it demonstrates that there's a real desire for something like this, you know, and it may seem like it's like a little click of the mouse, but it actually really does help us, and it gives us a sort of a metric and a guide to the level of interest in what we're doing at Banger TV. So in other words, if you're a metal fan and you want to see something like this, hit the subscribe button. It's not going to cost you anything. It's just, it helps us with our case to build this into a full-fledged channel. So there's my plug for today.
Absolutely. Very cool. Well, everyone's got their homework assignment. Go to the Banger Films channel and click the subscribe button. We got to roll real quick in 2 seconds. You're familiar with Jonas Auckland's film, Lord of Chaos, that he's doing, right?
Yes, I am aware.
Yes, I know you're a big fan of that whole scene. So
I've actually got a copy of the script and I haven't read it. Shame on me, but I'm aware and I'm interested.
Well, I'm going to be seeing Jonas this week, so I'll see if he could float you a copy. Oh, you do have the script, you said.
I got a script copy because
Awesome.
I know the distributor in Toronto who might be picking it up.
Very cool. He's an awesome dude, one of my favorite directors. Along with you, Mr. Dunn, you got to do a movie, is my point. That's your next step, is to actually document a full-on movie.
We're working on it. We've got ideas.
Very cool. All right, we're closing off here. Inside Metal Show with the great Sam Dunn. You could find him. He doesn't do much social media, but just go to Banger Films and check it out on YouTube. Subscribe. Banger Films YouTube page. Inside Metal Show TradioV. We'll see you next week.
You are watching TradioV, Radio and TV.